Hello. You are listening to Dads with Startups, a podcast about a couple of entrepreneurs who put family first.
Hey, Kevin.
Howdy, good to see you. Good to see you, John. What's going on
What's
with
new
you?
in life? It's been a few weeks, or almost a
It
month,
has
I
been.
guess.
Yeah, it's been a little while, hasn't it? Well, I would say I just went to a tennis tournament this past weekend, and I have to say that was very rejuvenating for the soul. So there's a big tennis tournament called Indian Wells out in Palm Springs.
I have been to that one.
You have been? Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm talking to a fellow fan who understands the beauty of it all. We only went for Saturday. I met some friends from LA out there, and I drove out I think it's about three hours, which isn't terrible, 3.5 maybe. And just got a day to just enjoy, forget, all of my work stuff, forget all my personal stuff, and just kind of zone into some good tennis. Beautiful day out there, and really had a nice time. So that's one thing I've done. Now, when did you go, by the way?
Oh, 2003.
Oh, wow. Okay.
2003.
It is. It's been a while. It's been around for a while. Yeah. But that's good to hear.
Went with some buddies of mine. One of them played tennis. The other did not. We were on our way actually to go watch our college play in their conference basketball tournament.
Okay.
For spring break.
Nice.
College spring break.
Oh, that's cool.
Since two of the three of us had played tennis, we decided to go attend the tournament. It was only like $25 for a ticket for the day. I'm sure it's nothing like that now.
Well, it's not terrible now. It's 60 now if you want like the really high level seats. So it's not. I mean, definitely 3 times more. So that's a lot, but it's still affordable.
I would pay that.
My friend, yeah, I'm happy to pay that. My friend is this kind of he's a big spender. He's a doctor. So he was responsible for buying the tickets. So he just bought the $300 per seat tickets without really consulting me. So, so anyway, I find this out. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to enjoy it. I usually say no to myself on that stuff, and I take the cheaper seats. But I have to say, we sat right behind where the coaches sit. Like, they were like one row away. And I really enjoyed it. I have to say, it's maybe it's worth a little bit, spend a little bit more next time, just because
Did you get some white sweaters, tie them around your?
We missed that. Yeah, that's a good point. Next year
when I went with my buddy, we were driving in his grandma's Cadillac.
Oh wow! Okay.
And it was not a new one. And for some reason, we didn't have cars. I mean, we were pretty young.
Sure.
And we pulled into the parking lot there, and it was just all, Mercedes and Audis and BMWs and pretty much nothing else. And then we come in with our like 20-year-old Cadillac clunker, pull up, and we felt a little out of place for sure. But it was really fun. Who did you see playing?
I don't even know the names. It wasn't anyone super well known that I had recognized. I have seen Federer before a couple years back. That was fun. But I saw some good, it was great matches that were really fun to see. So I'm going to make it a tradition to keep going. And I'm also inspired. It really, hopefully, will lead to me going out and playing, which I haven't done for, maybe a year or two.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to get out there and just make that part of my weekly routine. So that's one update. We are having some friends next week who are coming in also from LA just to visit for 3 or 4 days into our little house here, a little rental house. And so meaning there will be, instead of 4 of us, it'll be 8 of us sharing everything.
Nice.
And it will be I'm kind of nervous and excited of the chaos that will ensue. So that'll be my, 4 kids running around screaming their heads off. Kind of looking forward to it, but yeah. Should be fun. So that's it on the personal side. What about yourself? Any interesting updates going on?
Let's see. So last time we spoke, we went to Disneyland.
Oh.
So when we sold our house, we made out with a little more money than we were budgeting. And so we decided, we ripped our kids out of school and made them move to a different city and everything. And so we decided to make it up to them by taking a nice Disney trip. So we're in northern Utah, and we have family in Las Vegas. My sister-in-law lives there. So we were like, okay, we told our kids, we're going to go stay with your sister-in-law in Las Vegas. And so we drove down, and they're like, yeah, we're going to go play with our cousins. And we stay the night. And then the next morning at 6:00, we wake everyone up, and we're like, okay, we got to go home. Pack up your stuff. And
oh, no.
My 9-year-old was so mad. He was pissed off. And we got in the car and started driving home, quotes. And we drove to Disneyland instead. And we just had a movie going on in our van, and the kids didn't even look outside. So we thought our 9-year-old would figure it out just by observing, but he wasn't looking at anything but the movie playing. So it was a surprise all the way until we were parked in the parking garage, and then they saw these signs that said Disneyland, and they kind of figured it out. So we're like, surprise, we're going to be here for 4 days. So,
that's so fun. Yeah. That's great. I'm sure your 9-year-old forgave you for
yeah. We were like, it was fun to be able to tell them, like, guess what? That actually wasn't just a trip to Vegas.
Yeah. Had they been before?
Yeah, we'd been to, our oldest had been to Disneyland and Disney World before. So Disney is not entirely new to us, but some of the other younger kids didn't even remember anything about it last time they went, so.
Cool. Okay. I think we need to make that pilgrimage in the next few years. I think we've kind of waited until at least the older one was maybe 5 or 6. So I'm not sure what the right age is, but it sounds about right.
Yeah. I think all ages. When we took a 2-year-old, when our oldest was 2, and it was magical in a different way. You know what I mean? Like you see it through their eyes, and it was a lot of fun. We hardly did any of the bigger rides,
Sure.
And then this year,
that's cool.
3 out of 4 of our kids could do most of the stuff in the park.
Cool. Okay.
But my 2 older boys.
Had you seen the Star Wars one? Oh, sorry.
Yes, we did the Star Wars one, and it is amazing. And have you done it? Okay, I'm not going to spoil it because we went into it not knowing what to expect, and that just made it so much better. So,
good. Okay, I'm glad to hear that. That sounds good.
But it is worth the wait. Our older boys are afraid of roller coasters, so that was really difficult. I did take my 5-year-old daughter on Big Thunder Mountain. She was okay with that. So she's the brave one, I guess.
Nice.
I took them on the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, which used to be Tower of Terror. I don't know if you remember that one, but it's basically it's a big, huge building in California Adventure, and you walk in, sit down in these seats, and you're basically in an elevator, and it just
I do remember this one
in the air, and then just drops over and over again. So you feel you feel yourself falling. It is terrifying, even for me, but super fun. I took my kids on that one without them knowing what it was going to be. I was just like, hey guys, do you want to go on this Guardians of the Galaxy ride? And they're like, yeah. We buckled up. They still had no idea what was going to happen. And then just all of a sudden it just drops off. And
oh my gosh,
my 7-year-old, he was just screaming the whole time, we're going to die. We're going to die.
That's so fun. That's such a great experience as a kid. So I'm glad you guys did that.
Yeah.
You're inspiring me. Yeah. Cool. Any other stuff going on?
Let's see. I can
do some business
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on the business front, I think last time I spoke, I had been hiring, and that has been taking a ton of time finding the right people. I hired 2 customer success representatives. I was only
Nice.
going to hire one, and I was also going to hire a marketing person that could go to conferences as well and help represent the company at a table. Not quite a full sales role. You don't really need to be a qualified salesperson to go to a conference, So I thought I'll find somebody who likes to do marketing and also maybe likes to go to conferences. And the problem was all of my favorite candidates on the marketing side were not a huge fan of going to conferences. And so yeah, that was a bit of a challenge. And then on the customer success rep position, I had narrowed it down to 3, well, really 2 people, and I just couldn't decide between the 2 people. And then I thought to myself, I even consulted my wife about it a little bit. She was like, "Why don't you just have one of these customer success reps go to the conferences?" It's like, "Oh, all
That's
right."
true.
So I ended up hiring both of them, and
Nice.
one of them is he really likes to just get out and move, and I think he would be really good at conferences. So
Good.
we'll see how that goes. We have one in 2 weeks. We're going to, or actually next week, we're going to a conference at the southern end of Utah. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah.
Well, that sounds like the right choice because it's someone who's interacting with customers all the time is probably the right choice anyway. I mean, you want somebody who can really speak their language or answer those kind of maybe detailed questions that maybe the marketer wouldn't know some of those.
I think a lot of marketers are like, I don't want to talk to people. Otherwise, I would have been a salesperson. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Okay.
And you're right. Customer success rep, what makes a good customer success rep is somebody who's just good with people, and
totally.
and that's also the qualification you need for conferences. So yeah,
exactly.
it does make sense.
You'll be going to them for a while as well until further, until you realize you don't need to. But I think that's just to have support there and all that would be great. It sounds like you have found good people locally. So that's also nice to hear, is that you're able to find local talent.
One is a student at the university here, and which is Utah State University. And then another one, he actually lives about an hour south of here.
Wow.
So he, for the last couple of weeks, he has been coming in and working here in this office with me to learn the ropes, commuting every day. But pretty soon we're going to kind of transition back out to be a remote.
That was the deal.
For even the one here in the city. She'll work from home as well. And we'll have like a hybrid approach where maybe once a week everybody comes in so we can benefit from being close to each other. But I really feel like remote and hybrid is what people want, and there's no reason why it shouldn't work.
That's cool. So he's been that's quite a commute, I guess, 2 hours a day, and I'm sure he's thrilled. But I mean, it's like I'm sure he's thrilled to know that he can just come in every so often with that. That's good.
Cool. In fact, I had delivered a monitor to him today and for his home office setup. So
very cool. And
And
so how's the office, by the way? You are
have you seen it on our video feed? Have you seen it before?
I don't think I might have. I know that you. Let's see. Have we seen this? I don't think we've seen this. Let's take a quick peek.
The camera for those of you who aren't. It's a little hard to see. We're up on the third floor of one of the oldest buildings in the city here, which is kind of fun because you never know what you're going to get with this building. There's there are some light switches that are out down the hall and in a different room, and one light switch controls half of my room and another light switch controls the other half, along with the rooms next to me. So
makes sense.
I usually leave them off and use lamps, but it's 3 people in here doesn't feel very cramped, and
that's good.
So when everybody's in here, it feels good, and it's really exciting, a lot of energy when everybody's here.
I am curious about how that is. I mean, I haven't worked in person with any team members besides my partner, my wife, for since I left my corporate gig. So that would be an
Yeah.
interesting experience to have that back. So
Yeah.
sounds
Well,
fun.
I mean, I enjoy the personal interaction. I also enjoy being able to just focus and be left alone. So
Yeah,
there's benefits on
cool.
both sides of the coin.
Yeah, and then you have your home office. Are you still working on that and renovating that or something like that? Is that in the works?
Our new house with the unfinished basement
Mhm.
we are not finishing the basement currently.
Okay, put it on
I
pause.
plan to do that before the end of the summer. I would like to
Okay,
have it done, but priority one right now, we are in the middle of painting upstairs the
mhm.
colors
Oh,
that we
okay.
want. So
Ah,
it's a
all
new
right.
house and everything's just white.
Yeah.
Um, and then next priority is the yard, and with
Okay,
springtime coming up,
cool.
that'll be a big focus. So I
Mm.
won't have a home office for a while.
I asked because I'm gonna be moving we have to be out of here in the next month, and I'm gonna go from having a nice office. This is my home office here to having nothing. I got rid of our office downtown in Phoenix, and so
Mm.
we do have a garage, and there's a little bit of room. So I'm like, I'm kind of like thinking, could I build an office and we have a little bit of extra space where we don't need, it's like a 2-car garage. Actually, it's like almost a 4-car garage. So I'm thinking I could convert some of it into an actual office
Yeah.
because it's bad. I mean, that town is so small that the only place to work after 3 p.m. is McDonald's because all the rest of the coffee shops close up. And the internet's bad everywhere. So I've got to do something. So anyway,
That's gonna
cool.
be a
Any
challenge.
other Oh yeah. Any other challenges you're going to be working on, or things that you'll be
Yeah,
looking to
so
accomplish
I
in the
had
next
a
month?
nice little adventure my first week with my new employees. The Civic Review marketing site was hacked.
Oh.
It runs on WordPress.
Mm-hmm.
Did I tell you about this off the air? Can't
Off the
remember.
air, I think you did.
The website was hacked, and I ended up with a bunch of ads on certain pages for some products, some of which are questionable, and
Doing
some
some
were just
affiliate
like
marketing for them. Yeah.
curses. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was all in I think Japanese, and
Wow.
and so and they also messed with a bunch of the WordPress config files, and I couldn't log in, and it was basically unrecoverable.
Really?
And I was hosting on a site that was doesn't do backups.
Oh no. Okay. Well,
So
yeah. Good
I
lesson for everyone listening. Make sure you have your backups running, I
I know the
guess.
backup would have been nice. So I think the root, I mean, it was probably some outdated plugin,
Yeah.
or the
Yeah.
theme was a little older. Um,
Sure.
but the I did manage to duplicate a bunch of database tables into a new
Hmm.
WordPress
Awesome.
instance and restore some content
Very
that way.
cool. Cool.
But I didn't relaunch the same website. Instead, I decided to just create a whole new website altogether, and
Okay.
now I'll just salvage the content that I have and
Uh-huh.
plug it into the new site.
All right.
So I'm still in the process of that. Fortunately, I don't have a lot of web pages, so there shouldn't be a ton of SEO damage or anything.
Mm-hmm. Nice. You did your
um,
best to kind of match the old slugs, I guess, the old URLs.
yeah, so far that's
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 good.
the process.
Nice.
And but I'm still not done. So there are a lot of pages that are just not loading,
Okay.
and I
You're
may be punished on those, but we don't have a high score
Yeah.
anyway on
Okay.
SEO. So um, the new website is built on Webflow. Have you ever
Oh,
used
okay.
Webflow?
Well, we are going to be. I've not used it personally, but Owlish will be integrating with it so people can add their courses to Webflow, and that's going to be the main platform that we
Oh,
kind of
nice.
go after first of all. So that's
Oh,
actually
really?
people are. Yeah, so that's sort of our focus. I mean, initially we started focusing on WordPress, and we just noticed that the SEO traffic kept saying Webflow instead of WordPress. So that's,
Interesting.
letting our marketing kind of guide us in terms of the product. But yeah, I'm excited about it because Webflow, what I have experienced with it, I'm paying for an account just to kind of do testing and integration stuff, but it's impressive so far, and I really
Yeah.
like what they're doing overall.
I really have enjoyed it so far. From a developer standpoint, it is
Yeah.
just spot on. And they found a way to pretty much move all CSS options into a UI, which means, so, I could see a lot of graphic designers who are a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
tech savvy and understand a little bit about CSS,
Yeah.
but they don't want to get into code. They could do this,
Yeah.
and they
Exactly.
have a good understanding on CSS box or flex layout and
Right.
how margins and padding works and grids and things like that. So yeah,
Nice.
I've really enjoyed it
That's
so
cool.
far.
Cool. All right, so that's hopefully you'll be finishing that up until maybe the next time we talk to you. I guess you'll
Oh yeah, I hope
completed
so.
some of those pages.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see. Well, on my end, I'm excited to announce that Alish is now officially open. Anyone can sign up from our website, which last time I had opened it up, but mostly just kind of under the table, handing accounts to people who are requesting information. But
Mhm.
but now everything's actually open, so it feels really good. This has been a big milestone for us. We kept getting delayed with little issues and glitches that we had to kind of solve for, and there's plenty more to go still. I'm sure it's there's still issues that we are working a way to fix, but it's now stable enough where people can just sign up, get an account, build out a course, and integrate it with their website, which I'm excited about. So yeah, my hope is to reach out to Webflow probably the next 2 to 3 weeks once I kind of get a feel for how stable things are and how people are
Mhm.
having issues integrating it. But once we get a feel that people it's solid and a sure thing, I want to reach out to the Webflow folks to see if we can be added to their third party kind of directory effectively of for people who want to add courses to their site. So that's exciting, and been again something I've been working on. The other thing would be, it's funny, on a technical side, I feel like I'm originally a PHP developer, and Owlish is built in PHP. So
Right.
one thing though is that it was a different platform. So I've been mostly focused on WordPress, and I know that world really well with plugins and stuff like that. But I have, for the life of me, I could not figure out how to create a local a dev environment for the site, for the app, on my Mac, and both my developers are on Windows, and so they would give me these instructions, and I'd be like hitting all these errors. I mean, mostly with Node.js, just throwing errors all over the place, and I would ask them, and they had no answers. Um, and so I've just basically had to indirectly tell them, like, okay, add a period here or some stupid thing, like just things that I just want to go change this word or something. And it's just like, okay, 3 days every time I want to make a teeny little change. So
Yeah.
finally I was able to figure out and reverse engineer what they've done, and was able to finally get it to work now so I can actually make changes. I'm so excited. I spent like all yesterday making a ton of front end changes. That it's just like, oh wow, I have the power back in my hand. So I'm excited about that. So I think that'll be helpful, just because they're going to be bogged down with probably larger fixes and larger features, and it'll be nice to be able to help out customers as they go on. And then in terms of the website, the front end website, kind of this also the marketing website. I was talking to a guy yesterday at a entrepreneurial meetup. We have something called Juntos as part of the Dynamite Circle, which I go to. And this guy wasn't a tech guy, but he was mentioning that he's been experimenting with plugins for WordPress that effectively will turn your WordPress site into a static site with a click of a button. And I was like, I mean, I've kind of heard about that, but I haven't really looked into it. I should probably look into it. And so today, before we met, I I was playing around with it, and I'm almost done with that. But there's a free plugin out there called Simply Static. So if any of you guys are using WordPress, it's pretty snazzy, and it takes a little bit in terms of like figuring out the setup with your, your web host and stuff. But so far I'm impressed. It's like blazing fast compared to my, even with caching and all these plugins with WordPress. I mean, this is just super fast. Hoping it'll also be a little more secure too, because there's not as much to break into. But even if they did break into it, just overwrite the next one and pretty easily. So I'm excited about that. And I kind of wanted to get away from people going to my site and seeing that it's a WordPress. So I'm hoping that it also gives them less, you can always look behind the hood to see what people are running as a platform. So kind of hoping that also makes it hard. So those are my kind of updates. And then in terms of challenges, I think what I want to work on in the next couple of weeks again is just there's new features that need to be built. People keep asking. I'm seeing patterns when I talk to people, to customers, and one of the things that we need to build out is more community features, more conversation features. So right now we don't have a commenting system in the course experience. So when you're taking a course, there's no commenting. You can't leave a comment, and that would be a big win. But I talked to one of the folks who I've signed up, and she was really interested she's been taking a course from another teacher who is on some platform that has kind of a mix between comments and maybe like a Facebook update, similar to like a Facebook group. And so we're going to look at maybe building something out that mimics a Facebook group experience, but brings that off Facebook into your own online course. So that's what I'm hoping to figure out. Like, how do we kind of design
a little bit of community?
Right? Yeah, exactly. More than just like a comment, with each lesson, but there's an actual, maybe a topic that you set up, and it acts similar to a Facebook group with updates and status kind of stuff. So that'll be something I'll work on. I'll talk about that next time to see how far we've come with that. But anyway, there's a lot of stuff we got to catch up with, because right now it's pretty bare bones. So now
that you're in the developer experience, or you have the environment set up on your machine, do you think you'll be working on any of these updates, or do you just plan on making little tweaks?
No, it's a good question. I think I did a little bit the other day, just a little, I surprised myself. I went further than I thought I was going to do. I thought I was just going to do again, word changes. But I really think that I learned development around 34, 35 years old. And my brain, if I had learned it when I was like 16, I think I'd be a much better developer. I'm just kind of like an old man hitting the keyboard. I'm just not very fast. Sometimes it'll be like, I'll get stuck on a problem and it'll take me like 24 hours and walking around to figure out something. And then I'll send the problem to my developer, and he's like 10 minutes. He knows what to do. So I just don't think I'll be very efficient. And I think it's best for me to practice not getting too involved. I want to keep that distance so that I can look at the larger picture. So, but it's nice to know I can if I need to. If sort of like I think about Elon Musk a few years ago when they were trying to push out the Model 3 and it was backed up and all this stuff. And I just remember reading stories about he was sleeping at the factory, and under a desk or something like that. And so, there's times where you might need to do that. So it's good to know I can.
Yeah. I got to protect yourself from the catastrophic event. Are your developers, do you have any in the Ukraine?
No, I don't.
I don't. You have some overseas.
Yeah, they're not. They're mostly South Asia, India, Pakistan.
Okay.
But I was actually, about a month ago, I had found a guy from the Ukraine. Oh no, from Belarus. So he was from Belarus, and he passed a test. I gave him like a little project to work on. He did a beautiful job, and I was like, this is months ago. I was just like, this guy's perfect. And about a month ago, I had started, okay, let's talk. And obviously that's a no-go right now. So it does make you think, right? I mean, got to be gotta think strategically about where the world's going to be, and in a way that we've been lucky we haven't had to worry about that stuff in the past decade or two.
I know there are several founders affected by this in Tiny Seed. One of them is in my mastermind. He has a bunch of developers in Ukraine.
Wow.
He's based in Thailand, and he's just been huge fan of these Ukrainian developers.
Sure.
And now he's having a really hard time. I mean, he can't pay them. Some of them said, even if you pay me, I can't use it. I can't get it out of the bank. So
they're still located in the country as far as he knows. I guess they would be, right? If they're
last I heard, but it's been a while since I talked to him. But there's some others that I know of that are. I think there's actually Tiny Seed founder that might be there. I'm not sure. But,
wow, crazy.
Yeah, it's just can't imagine what they're going through.
I know, and I'm sure for them, it's just terrifying. You think about how there was a podcast I listened to where they were interviewing a guy, and he was like an IT worker, and this one line really hit me, which was like, last week my biggest problem was what PlayStation game should I buy. This week, my new biggest problem is like, how do I make a Molotov cocktail? And I've never done this before, and I've never heard anyone before. It was very, life can change so quickly. So
there are some neighbor kids in my neighborhood, friends of my kids. They set up a fundraiser. Obviously, their mom helped them, and they did a bake sale, and they raised some money from this bake sale. I'm not exactly sure how much it was. I was surprised at how much it was, but I can't remember the number, how much they made. And they donated it to this nonprofit that is sending aid to the Ukraine. So they felt like they were helping in their own small way.
Yeah, that's great.
So
making the kids aware of the larger kind of picture of stuff.
Yeah,
that's cool. Well, prayers to those in Ukraine, and my hope is that this ends as peacefully and as peacefully as possible in the next as quickly as possible. Although that's just hope for it. But
cool.
Yeah, but that's all my updates. Anything else on your end?
Yeah, nothing else is going on. My goals are to finish my new website migration. I've got some pretty major updates that I've been slowly working through. Training 2 new people takes a lot of time though, but this week has been good. I've actually caught up on the tasks that I have for myself that relate to their job, which means they're shouldering more of that customer onboarding work, and that should give me a little bit more time to do some of the things that only I can work on. So it's starting to feel so much better.
Nice. It's always hard, that initial hiring process, but once you get the ball rolling, it make it so much easier.
Yep.
Very cool.
So, all right, should we wrap it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Next time.
Thanks for listening. You can learn more by visiting dadswithstartups.com. Please rate and review us by going to ratethispodcast.com/dadswithstartups. Until next time, bye.